Hello, everybody. It is me, Briskatoozy, and today we're talking about the Rising of the Shield Hero episode 7. Okay, so I've only watched the first 6 minutes and 23 seconds of this episode, and so far, just like, wow, I can't believe that they did a callback to last episode with the crate. Because when I saw the crate, I was just like, I wonder what that's supposed to be, because they looked at it and I thought that it had something to do with the bats and the reason why the bats were, like, hurting them and stuff like that. But then, no. Apparently, the Spear Hero, when we heard about the Spear Hero, how he, like, got like a legendary crop to save a village. Apparently, the legendary crop that he found was in the chest that Nafumi went to, but it wasn't there. And apparently, this seed made a whole entire like plants and like overtures appear everywhere. So then there's like just like growths appearing everywhere, and the plants are just overing this village, and then they're being attacked by plant monsters and such. That's kind of cool. I wonder what the plant monsters are gonna look like in later parts of this episode if it does happen. But I like don't even know if this happened in the manga. I remember a plant part happening in the manga, but it's been like so long since I've read it, so I don't know if it only happened like in a chapter or two, or maybe it didn't happen. But it is kind of cool seeing him heal people with the potion. But it was funny seeing him seeing him heal like the people infected by like this plant virus thing, because Nafumi did say that it is parasitic, but I like it how he dumps like herbicide, like plant poison, into the kid's mouth, and then he like uses his like shield like ability to enhance the thing, so that way he can heal him even more. So then he splashes the herbicide over the kid's body, and then all of the plants parasites, all of him just fall off, and he's just like, okay, I guess you're saved. I like it how like the villagers are like, he's the heavenly savior of the fowl, and he's just like, we need to ask him to help us since he has the talking bird. I like it how Philo is like the thing that makes people understand what he is too, because apparently the legend is like he has a talking bird, so he's the person. I like it how he can change his shield to a book, but it's weird how he can move his book. Like his book is sometimes on his like where the shield is supposed to be, but sometimes he can put it like on like the other side. Like he can just move that. I guess he can just move the shield all over his arm if he wanted to, because it looked like he can hold on to it like a regular book. So I wonder how he did. Wonder how he made that happen. Maybe he like put a book into the shield, like maybe made the shield like enhance it. But it's kind of weird how the spear hero doesn't have the information based things like Nafumi does, because I guess like when he got the seed, he wasn't able to use his spear to like look into the information. But I guess if Nafumi used his shield, or maybe used something with his shield on the seed, maybe he would have been able to tell if something was bad or not. Because when he was enhancing like medicine and stuff like that, he was able to like see like the effects and stuff like that. Maybe he could do that if he looked at the seed. Also, kind of funny how they how Nafumi is just like, why would you trust the spear hero just because he was a hero and he didn't like question the seed, even though that your village has this whole legend with the seed. I like it how they showed exposition with the seed, and like they're talking about the legend, and they're talking about like this legend that the village has and like that. That's kind of cool storytelling, even though that it's a very minuscule like story point in the series. It's cool like world building with this village has like this whole entire like mystery to it, with the same thing with how you saw the cavern last episode with like the new way in it and a whole bunch of like magic threads in there that it was protecting and stuff like that. But I like it how he says that, and then they end up being very sad, and they end up just succumbing to him. They even like after once they see his shield, once he goes saying like, okay, I'll save your village, he like shows that his book turns into a shield. So then they're all just like, isn't that the shield hero? So far, the first 6 minutes of this episode are pretty cool and pretty awesome. And I like what's happening so far with the village and stuff like that. But yeah, I'll be back in a few minutes to read the rest of it. Okay, I'm back, and I watched from 6 minutes to 12 minutes, almost 13 minutes. So man, that fight with the plant monsters were kind of cool. It was like, imagine Plants versus Zombies, but the plants actually look like monsters, and it was kind of cool. Like that eye thing actually looked kind of scary. Could you imagine if someone made that even more realistic? Like I know that this is like anime version realistic, but imagine if that was even more realistic. Like seeing that like that eye thing with its tentacles. Like I think I've seen this somewhere before. It kind of reminds me of Ghost Freak from Ben 10, but it was kind of cool seeing that, and then seeing him just seeing them attack and trying to cut the vines, and they were shooting like the acid and stuff like that, like Philo mentioned earlier. And it was kind of cool how Rough Talia and like Philo were trying to like combine attacks, but then Philo was just being like so like intrusive with Rough Talia because she wants to be the main girl. But like, man, her attitude like towards Raftalia, like I'm just like my first but like I don't remember that attitude whatsoever. I remember her having somewhat of an attitude, but not this much. They like made like her attitude like 100% attitude, because man, she just acts like a total bitch to Raftalia like the whole entire time. Nafumi ended up realizing that they couldn't use normal herbicides, so then he ended up using what he did to heal the children earlier in the episode and heal the wounded from the village. That he enhanced the skill, and then he was also able to like the vines were like attaching to him as he was running towards the thing, and then Raftalia was saying not to be so reckless, so then he ended up getting attached by the vines, and he ended up using some sort of a skill to like his sort of like with his shield to like make it so that the way the vines exploded off of him as he became closer, and then he used his enhance ability again on the herbicide to enhance the skills of it, which he did with the medicine before, but now he's doing it to plant toxins, and he sprayed that, and then he ended up withering away, and then he ended up defeating the plant monster. But the attacks were kind of cool, and him doing that was kind of awesome, using his like technical prowess to do things. They start collecting the seeds because they don't want it to like plant back in and then have more monsters, more vines coming around the city. So then he took them, all of them, and then they ended up going back to the village, and he ended up trying to like use his new shield, because he got a plant shield, and he has like two forms to it. One that looks like the eye thing, looks like a starfish, and he also has like another one that looked very like looked like a jagged like armor piece. And he ended up trying to figure out how to enhance the seeds in order to make them better. It's kind of cool how he can edit them. It's like a gaming system almost with his shields. He can like edit like substances, make it like he can like use different shields on different items to make them better, make them more worse. You can like look at these like gauges that are going around, which is kind of cool to see. And then he also like made it so that way the seed didn't produce monsters. He made it into like an edible fruit. So then he ended up giving it to the villager, but he said that he wouldn't do it without a price. And it was cool seeing Raftalia like Naofumi, which is something that you see a lot in the manga, where she just really likes him, but Naofumi just won't have any of it. Like that probably is not going to go anywhere with the way that Naofumi treats her and stuff like that. And after that, they said that they couldn't sell he couldn't he once he did saved like the plants and made them into an edible fruit. He tried selling them to the villagers. The villagers said no because they already gave him everything for like saving the village. They gave him gold, so they didn't really have anything else, and they didn't really have any food yet since they gave him food. So then they let him have most of the seeds, because they did like collect like a whole bunch of seeds. If you saw like when he defeated the monster, so he took some of the seeds, then he ended up selling them to the merchant. And then after that, the merchant was said, "Yes, I could take these seeds, especially with the way that you edited them." So then he ended up getting some money there, and then he ended up going off with Rattalia and them to go to do a quest that the merchant gave them, and he took them to a hot spring. I guess we're gonna have some hot spring action, which I don't remember that happening whatsoever. They're putting fan service into the anime now, in order to get those clicks. And then after that, he ended up going on the quest for the merchant, and yeah, that's what's happened so far. So I guess I'll watch the rest of this episode and then talk about the stuff that's going to happen towards the ending. If I remember correctly, I think I might know how this episode ends. So yeah, I'll be back in a few minutes to do the rest of this. The rest of this episode was just like, ugh, total just unnecessary stuff. Everyone else could just like the rest of this episode. I didn't. I just, man. I just did not personally. I just did not like the rest of this episode whatsoever. I did not like the whole entire like love thing that was going on, because I know that in the manga, maybe it might be different in the light novel, but in the manga, like they don't show any love between any of them. Mostly just like maybe best friendship, maybe best BFFF. But I know that Nafumi doesn't think of like Raftalia and Philo in that way whatsoever. But this whole entire episode to me is filler, because I don't remember this happening whatsoever unless it happened in the light novel. But man, just seeing her in the hot spring, like that's like man, like especially in my review of that time I got reincarnated as a slime, the latest episode of that, like just no miss. Like you just see like Raftalia just full on, like in like same thing at the hot spring. But it is weird seeing them in the hot spring, seeing that there was also a legend with the hot spring that like they usually do that type of stuff in animes, especially in romance animes, where like it's like if two people are doing this, like if you wash my back, that means that we love each other or something like that. So then apparently Philo snuck into the male bath because she's a half bird. Or she's like half bird, half human now, but fully birds. Then she just went into the same bath as Nafumi, but Reptalia was on the female side. So then they just are trying to earn points on each other. And later in this episode, like she tries to like Reptalia tries to give Nafumi like a bottle of milk or something like that. I have no idea what that even was. But then but then as Nafumi is brushing uh, Philo's hair, she says, "I'm thirsty." So then she asks Raftalia for a drink, but then Raftalia just ends up drinking both drinks. One drink that she wanted for herself, one drink that she wanted for Nafumi. She should have just got three, because then like all three of them could have drank something, but I guess they're just like trying to fight each other for some reason. So then after that, Raftalia and Philo go on an adventure to like Raftalia wants to get a crystal that will apparently be a very good gift to give to a male like an Afumi. And then Philo wants to go, Philo was at like a bakery or something, and she heard that apparently if she gets like a this bird called a gakako, I can't say that name, gakako, egg. She's able to get eggs from this bird, then she'll be able to give. Apparently, because it's a delicacy, Nafumi will like it because it's a very good egg. So then they go on this adventure. Then they end up be like about to like they end up getting chased by a monster, like a giant boar that they heard about. That apparently is the love thing that was going on at the hot springs. So then they end up getting chased by it. Then they end up working together to cross the gap in the road that like this cliff road because they were in the mountains. And they hop over it, and then they decide to team up together, and they're now friends now. Because the whole entire episode they were being like at odds with each other, but now they're not. Now they're friends finally. Oh wow, be so amazing stuff that's happened in this episode. And then they end up getting to the bird, and they end up seeing like the crystal and the eggs, and then the bird ends up screaming because apparently the boar followed them. Like the boar must have climbed up the mountain instead of jumping over it. So then he ends up attacking the bird, and the eggs and the crystal end up getting like destroyed. So then they end up getting mad, and then they, in a very funny way, the boar ends up being scared because of how mad they are, because they can't give gifts to Nafumi, so then they end up killing it. And then after that, as they're going back to the village to like with the boar, a couple of villagers see them with the boar and be like, can you guys give us the boar? And they're just like, what about Nafumi? And then the villagers like, we'll give you money for the boar's skin. So then they're just like, okay, we know that Nafumi really likes money with how expensive he is, especially early in the episode with the villagers. Apparently, they end up buying like a little hammer to help Nafumi with his trinkets and stuff like that. With the money that they got from the boars, and they gave it to him. They gift it to him, and then Nafumi ends up thanking them, and then also patting both of their heads and stuff like that. And the episode ends with them like going to a new location, which is I guess this episode was okay. The starting of it was cool, and I like the things that were going on and the stuff that Nafumi was doing with his shields and stuff like that, and the way that they're figuring out stuff. The rivalry between them is okay. I'm okay with it now. After I think about it, it was pretty cool and okay for that stuff to happen. And then the rest of the episode, it was just cliche anime with like Raftalia saying that if she does romantic stuff with Nafumi, then she'll get pregnant. Just cliche stuff that we've heard a million times. Just wow, anime only stuff that's going on right there. And yeah, that's all the stuff that's happened this episode. This episode was okay. I would rate it a 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10. But yeah, just like I talked about earlier, after in the second portion of this episode, that I know what's happening next episode with the dragon. We heard if I remember correctly, the sword hero defeated defeated that dragon. Said that he defeated dragon. So since I can come to the conclusion, even though that I read the manga and I remember this section, that he ends up finding the dragon that the shield hero defeated. So we'll see what that happens. And the next episode is Curse Shield. So we heard about that back in the second or third episode. So it's gonna be cool seeing what that's like. But if you've watched the opening, you already know what that shield looks like. It shoots fire, I presume. If the Curse Shield is the shield that we see in the opening song, if I remember that correctly. If you got spoiled, I'm sorry. You should watch the opening. Even though that some people skip it. But yeah, those are my thoughts. If you enjoyed this review / my thoughts and opinions on this episode, leave a like. If you didn't enjoy this whatsoever, then leave a dislike. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next review next week. And yeah, bye. See you later.